What's up, guys? Whoa, hey, can you step back? 6 feet, please. Thank you. Guys, I know I said in that one video that I wasn't afraid of anything. I lied. Every day that goes by that a scientist has not invented a shirt that has sleeves on it, I have to live in fear that someone is just gonna come up and cough on one of my shoulders and I will die. I can't just put a mask on my shoulders. That's not what masks are for. We can't be wasteful. It really does suck that not only do I have to carry the immense physical burden of these heavy, heavy shoulders, but I also carry the burden of protecting these shoulders. If something were to happen to them, it would be a national tragedy. I don't know if we would recover. So I figured while we're here, might as well take this opportunity to develop a new skill. The result, guys, I am probably the humblest guy you're ever gonna meet, but I actually think this might be a world first. We dished Treadplate. Oh my gosh. This whole getup is fine. It's this choker that's kind of doing me in. Oh, in case anybody's worried thinking that I'm wasting masks, don't worry, I don't care. Just kidding, they're used by me right now. Here they are, Treadplate Pauldrons or Spalders or whatever, with matching Treadplate gorget. Very stylish, not gonna lie. The gorget happened like halfway through the thing. You'll see. Wasn't part of the initial plan. Actually, none of this was part of the initial plan. This was the original video. Friggin' bummer, dude. I filmed for 3 weeks on this thing and then I brought the footage inside and all of it was corrupted. My real fans already know this though. Stuff happens, man. In the end, I got some sick pauldrons, so I'm alright. Probably my favorite feature about these things is that they're modular. My body armor's all taken apart at the moment for some upgrades, but once that's all put back together, you would be able to wear the body armor with just the gorget like this. Actually looks kind of cool once you have it on. I mean, I think so. Bro, I'd wear this to Aldi if I could. Or you can just wear the gorget with the pauldrons. See, just the gorget and the big part of the pauldrons, I mean. This, in my opinion, is an absolute drip and a half. It's also much better mobility than once you have the actual arm pieces locked onto it. If I'm doing weapon tests and stuff, this probably be how I wear them. Just really good mobility. But then of course you can actually attach the arm plates too. And here it is in all its glory. See, the mobility is still definitely not bad. I hope you can friggin' hear me with all these plates clinking around the microphone in here. So long as I don't have the gorget locked down to the body plate, I do have to be a little careful about, you know, shrugging, taking a fat plate to the lip. But man, is this drippy or what? Ooh, hold on. Super drip mode activate. Bro, that's so friggin' cool, man. I love this stuff. Oh man, I still need elbow pads, but bruh. All right, you guys probably had it. I don't want to get you guys too jealous. Let me show you how to make it so you don't have to be jealous at all. Test, test, test. All right, I won't lie. We've been doing a little bit of dishing while you guys weren't watching. I'd much rather bring you a semi-interesting video right off the bat than make you watch me learn the very beginnings of dishing. Aside from being epically fun, we also learned some very valuable lessons about dishing that we are going to apply to our project today. Now, an issue that we'll have with this stuff that we wouldn't normally have with just regular sheet metal is the fact that we actually want to preserve the treads through the dishing process. The other issue that we're going to have is the fact that this stuff is about an 1/8 inch thick. It's way too thick to dish it cold, so we got this kind of unique problem. How do we dish it hot while preserving the treads? So here's what I came up with. I made a dishing stump out of a few sheets of plywood. Being wood, it's already going to be much softer on the treads, but on top of that, we're keeping the stump soaked throughout the process. And this way, the second the steel hits the stump, it quenches the treads, but it leaves the base plate hot enough to still dish. Overall, I'd say this is one of my most successful experiments I've done in a really long time. Now we got the same issue curling the edges. I can't just do it on the anvil or it'll smash up the treads. So I had Dan do me up this angled piece of plywood, which essentially acts as a soft face on the anvil. I keep that soaked too, and it lets me really wail on the edges without having to really worry about the treads at all. Also, this is kind of cool. To protect the dishing while I'm doing the edges, I quench the whole piece right up to the edge before I start striking. One of the few benefits of using a mild steel over a steel that can actually temper is that you can pretty much quench it as many times as you want and it still stays malleable when it's cold. So again, another super successful experiment, very epic. All right, well, they cleaned up pretty good. so that's good. But then comes the issue of like, how do you actually put it on your body? Everything that I saw that like inspired me to make these things got all these like leather straps coming out, going around your armpit, going around back your neck, going up your nose, coming out your mouth. It seems like that kind of stuff's not made for if you actually plan on wearing body armor. So I'm like on my phone looking up medieval pauldrons, medieval spalders, and it's looking like what I need to make is something called a gorget. Gorget? It's a bib made out of metal, not gonna lie. Look, man, gonna be totally honest, I don't really want to do this right now, but I'm thinking about a new slogan for my channel. Stop not doing what you need to do and work. Freaking do it. Still spitballing that one. But look, the good Lord in heaven has blessed me with a whole bunch of treadplate. If anybody's gonna make a gorgonite out of diamond treadplate, it's gonna be me. So let's just freaking do this. Dang. Truly, we was kangs. Is this good? I don't think so. I think it's, it looks too wide. That's my diagnosis. I think everything else I nailed. Too wide here. As long as I walk around like this, pretty good. Nah, I gotta slant the shoulders down a little bit more, as far as I can tell. It's coming together.
Wait till you see the. No, 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 no. Ah, look at the top of his head.
Ah, frick yeah. That's epic. Ah, yeah. Ha ha ha. Hey, that's gonna be cool. Hey, life hack for all you guys out there that make armor out of treadplate. A flourishing community, I know. Flip it over when you're tracing your stencils so you have a flat surface.
That's what I love. Nestle Crunch.
Okay, so what I'm trying to accomplish with the leather here is to make it the same shape as the Gorgonzola's, but like a ½ inch bigger all the way around. Kind of like it did with the gauntlets, which, by the way, epic video, you should go and watch. See how I did this though? On the edge, I want to do that. In classic ZNA fashion, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I don't know what it is. I do happen to know, once you got the leather cut out and you start trying to squish it into the thing, geometry does some weird stuff, and I'm way too homeschooled to figure out how to compensate for that beforehand. So here's what I'm doing. Here we have the leather. We've got our templates for the gabagool. I'm just going to very roughly trace around this thing with tons of wiggle room, and I'm gonna cut that out. And of course, I'll do it with the other one too. Hit it with that good EcoFlow coal black. Some of that good Aussie wax. Now I'll mark the edge with, what the heck is this called? I'm gonna mark the edge with the marking tip on my groover. And now I do my best. There we go, baby. And I've been told this thing is called an edge skiver. I don't know, guys. At this point in my life, I just don't know if I can start calling it that. So sorry if it hurts you, but we're using the edge skiver. All right, a little more water to make the leather pliable again. Quick low burnish, because why not? For anybody new to this process, this is literally just a corner piece of tile. To burnish the edge of the leather really doesn't take anything special, just a really smooth, solid object. You could use a smoothed out piece of hardwood if that's all you had around, but this just kind of makes the leather look more finished. It looks kind of sealed, I guess. All right, now we just start curling this thing out. And there you go, that should be about 1,000 times more comfy than bare steel on your jugular. It also just occurred to me I should be painting this stuff before I attach it to the leather, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, we got both halves of the goiter all leathered up. Now I'll show you how to prepare these two little buckles. We're gonna start with a couple strips of leather. These are 1-inch buckles, so 1 inch by 4.5 inches. I will first skive the edges epically. Oh, by the way, I changed my mind. I say skive now. Now I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches from both ends towards the center. Punch a couple of holes there. Take a blade and connect the two holes. I like to start at one of the holes and go partially to the other one, and then flip it around and go the other way. This sort of minimizes the possibility of slipping too far and cutting past the other hole. Now take your buckle, put the leather through, put the prong through the hole in the leather, and here you got that type of thing. So from here, you can punch another hole. Now, pop the buckle off real quick, and we're gonna take this moment to dye. A little bit of wax. Waxing up belts like this, probably one of my favorites because it's the easiest. You just get a little bit on your 2 fingers and you just kind of swoop, swoop, swoop. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna do the other one real quick. Now take you a pretty long copper rivet, pass it through the back, put your buckle, then the washer, or a burr. I don't know why these are called burrs. Then we peen it. Don't laugh. Clean as frick, boy. Now, one of the few things more tedious than cutting out the leather is watching somebody cut out the leather. So instead of cutting out the leather on camera, I cut out the parts where I cut out the leather on camera. You can thank me later, or you can cut out the part where you wait to thank me and just click the like button right now. But if you're thinking of cutting out the part where you click the like button, you better cut it out. So instead of really needlessly showing all the cutting, I'll just show you the finished product. I'll show you how the inside of everything looks. This should give you a pretty good idea on what you gotta do if you want to replicate this or make something very similar. So you already saw me do this. The only changes that I made is I put this extra bit of leather padding. This goes underneath the back half of the gorget. Really feels a lot better than having this stuff digging into your traps from the weight of these things. So we got the buckle halves of the belt on the front half. It makes doing the belt up a lot simpler because you can actually see it, as opposed to if you had this on the back and you're like reaching behind your head. So if you were just wanting to wear the gorget, what I do is I buckle one half and then I pick this up and I put it around my neck, close it up, and I do the other half, just like you would put a pair of pants on your neck. Pretty sick, not gonna lie. Now, the big part of the pauldron. Here's what the inside looks like. Pretty much nothing to it. This belt is actually a loop fixed onto the pauldron with these 2 rivets, and that's almost all there is to it aside from this. I'll get to that in a second. If you want to attach just the pauldrons to the gorget, you got this loop right here. Here's the back of the gorget. You slide the long end of the belt through that loop and you buckle it up. Flip this over. Then you take one of these belts, slide it through this loop right here, and this goes under your armpit and just holds the pauldron down. Now, if you want to attach the arm bit, we repo this belt, put it back in here. The 2 arm pieces are kind of fake articulated. I don't know about you, I don't have an elbow joint in the middle of my humerus. I don't really need these things to be bending. Not all that much, at least. So I epically have this strap loop cut out of the padding of the whole entire thing. Just made a cut right here and a cut right here, pulled it out a little bit and the belt slides right under, and then a couple of rivets to reinforce the belt. And then up here, the long half of this belt actually also functions as the strap loop. I think you can kind of see how that works. So now this is the one that goes in your armpit, and then this is the one that goes in your your other armpit, the armpit minor, and on the flip side, we have the buckle end of another belt. So to attach the arm bit to the pauldron, we thread the long end of the belt through this D loop. Buckle that up. There you go. There's two reasons we use a D loop here. The first reason is just because the angles wouldn't make any sense otherwise. You couldn't really thread this through here, or this would be sideways, obviously. So the D loop changes the direction that you're hooking into. Very handy. The other reason is that we got this long strip right here that kind of functions as like a track, so that slides up and down. Have I been saying D-loop this whole time? I meant D-ring. Frick, I'm not recording this again. It acts as a track for the D-ring. So when the arm portion is hooked in and your arm is lowered, the D-ring slides like halfway up. Then when you raise your arm up, it slides up and gives you more mobility. Admittedly, only a little bit more, but it's better than nothing. With big pauldrons like this, you want to get as much mobility as you possibly can. So that's pretty much the whole story. And if you were wondering about the gauntlets, that's a whole separate video. If you haven't seen it yet, absolutely check it out. Total banger. Well guys, that's all I got for today. I feel like I've been doing this for freaking 2.5 months. Really quick guys, you might have been wondering where Dan has been. He texted me recently and told me that he's been screaming and twitching. He didn't really elaborate any further, but obviously that doesn't sound very good, so if you could just keep him in your prayers. Oh, no, he's been streaming on Twitch. Okay. Well, now I'm concerned for other reasons. Guys, make sure you go and check out Dan on Twitch. Keep him accountable. Make sure he's not showing feet. I raised him better than that. I think that's all. Wait. Here's this. That's what the inside looks like. It's just EVA foam. Hard hat, headgear, hand hook, car door, crown made of iron. Gotta have something to throw at Jesus' feet when he comes back. All I got for today. Thank you guys very much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.